morning, everybody, and welcome to a different type of video right here on GoonerGathering. I have been given special permission everywhere you look. I've been given permission by my wonderful co-host, Mr. Lee Meadows, to do this very video. It was his idea, actually. And I am actually, as you can tell, in my place of occupation, which is why I've got to be a bit quiet, even though it's meant to be the first edition of this. I've got to be a little bit quiet as I try to do this because people are having meetings and people will be walking past and they'll think, I'm doing serious work. What's this goofball doing talking about football? Well, okay. This is the only day I could do this. So after the, if you've watched our chat along for Arsenal versus Tottenham, the 2-2 draw, you'll know that I got a little bit stressed. I got a little bit angry. I wanted to say things that might have upset a few Arsenal fans off. I wanted to say that, but I said it off camera instead. And I think I may have unintentionally rattled a few people. So because of this, this is an opportunity for me to just let it all out, not like that, in a segment that I'd like to call Posh's Pipe Bomb. That's right, it's clobbering time, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going to be talking about Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur, the 2-2 draw, which definitely wasn't stressful at all. Right, let's begin this, and I might, as I've got a board here, or flip chart or whatever, I think I might use it for lols and giggles. Right. So on Sunday, we drew 2-2 against Tottenham Hotspur. And now, if there's one thing I love more, it's to humble those Tottenham Hotspurs. And I say humble like the late, great Iron Sheik. I want to make them humble, brother. And I remember last season, around this time last season, Tottenham were around the top of the league, unbeaten, flying high. You know, some fans were getting carried away. They might even challenge for the whole thing. They then come to the Emirates. We did what I wanted them to do. We humbled the Spuds, and they never recovered for the rest of the season. It's a similar situation this season. You got Tottenham, unbeaten, near the top of the league, a bit like us, okay? We wanted to humble them again. We wanted to give a good old big hand humbling. We didn't. We got outplayed, we got outperformed and outworked by our own local rivals in our own backyard. That, to me, feels like a defeat. There is no such thing as a draw in a North London derby. For Tottenham fans, it's a win. For Arsenal fans, it's a loss. And by God, that felt like a loss on Sunday. I mean, the Tottenham fans are celebrating it like they've won they've won the Champions League. You know, that's the difference in standards between Tottenham fans and some Arsenal fans. Tottenham fans will treat this like the greatest win of their life. We're treating a 2-2 draw against Tottenham like it's a loss, as it should be. Where do I even begin? I mean, look, let's discuss the injury problems, right? Now, I understand that Declan Rice and maybe Martinelli, maybe Saka might actually be okay in time for the City game. But I made some kind of notes when it was a bit uncertain, so I'm just going to go from that. Declan Rice, never injured at West Ham. Never injured. Comes to Arsenal, within first 2 months, he gets injured. You couldn't write it. And of course, we've had, what is it, 3 injuries in one day? 4 injuries? No, I mean, these are the injuries in our squad. Timber, Partey, Martinelli, Trossard, Rice, Saka. Who's taking our training? Nia Jax. Like, come on. We don't score most goals, you know? We won't score most goals because we've got an attacking crisis in our injuries. Almost as if we shouldn't have got rid of the main club doctor. Oh, but apparently he was he made some injuries worse. Really? Okay, yeah, we had some injuries last season, but they were spaced out. Okay, maybe not at the latter stages when you had the likes of Saliba, Zinchenko, Martinelli getting injured at the tail end of the season, but it was spaced out. We didn't have a massive injury crisis all at once. Today, 6 games into the season, we've had, what was it, Timber, Partey, Trossard, Martinelli, Rice, Saka, 6 key players all injured within 6 games. The Timber injury, I'm going to bring that up, okay? Whichever genius was in the medical team who looked at Timber, had a bit of a problem at half-time and thought, yeah, you ain't right, Mikel, he's all right to carry on, you know. Yeah, well done. Out for pretty much the whole season. Now, in hindsight, it's a good job. It is a good job Rice was taken off at half-time, because if that genius had his way, you know, in that medical team, he'd be out for a long time. So I'm glad, in a way, yes, Jorginho came on and he cost us the game. I get that. But I do understand the sentiment for Rice coming off, because we didn't want a potential injury to one of our best midfielder at the moment to be even worse. So I get that. Okay. Edward, James, Cuthbert, and Nketiah. The dartboard of a few Arsenal fans. The easy target. The player that people like me have an agenda over. Yeah, 6 complete passes and 1 tackle that was made. And that's it. A lot of Arsenal fans are obsessed over stats. Well, I've got a stat for you, as I've just mentioned. Eddie Nketiah, the whole game, 6 complete passes. That is it. Not a single shot on target. He made 1 tackle, which myself and Lee Meadows spotted in the game, but that was it. He was our main striker. That is not what you're meant to do for your main striker. As a striker, your job is to score goals. Why wasn't Jesus up front then? Okay, yes, he did. And again, the blame's on Jesus. He did miss an absolute sitter. And this is the problem. We don't have an out-and-out striker. And this is where we need to get a striker in January. And yes, I'm going to mention the forbidden word, Ivan Toney, however you say it. You know, yeah, he made a few bets here and there, but so did Paul Merson, and he was a great player for us. No, I'm not comparing. Right. Ivan Toney is a phenomenal striker, whether he likes to put a cheeky bet on or not. It doesn't affect his ability to play football in the most stupendous way that he can. And having a striker, an out-and-out great striker, makes a huge difference. You see it with other teams. Haaland for United City, Højlund for United. If he gets up and running, he will be lethal. Okay, City, United. I've mentioned that. These Ollie Watkins, all right, for Aston Villa. Teams like that. Callum Wilson for Newcastle. Newcastle have got great strikers. Wilson, Almiron, Isak, if he can play up front. Having a clinical striker makes a massive difference, and we need one. Ivan Toney or Ollie Watkins, that's my second most preferred option. Ivan Toney is the perfect option to have. Yet you've got some Arsenal fans that are too scared, who are too frightened of the thought of him coming to Arsenal because he may have put a bet on a few players. It doesn't impact his performances on the field. Get him done, Edu. Don't waste your time like you did with the Declan Rice deal. Yes, you got it over the line, but there were a lot of scares. Don't go in and go, all right, we'll put in an X amount of money, but we'll get some add-ons that will be paid until the year 2054 when we win the Champions League. No, none of that. No nonsense. Pay the goddamn money and get the world-class striker that we need. And also on the subject of Nketiah, right? I don't want to go in on a member of our team. I don't dream of doing that. But I look on social media. Not even that. I look at real Arsenal fans, right? Not on the internet. But I will include them as well. And they're criticising Nketiah as well. I mean, what did he do against Tottenham? I just mentioned it. 6 passes completed, 1 tackle, boom, that's it. That's the game. Why? Why are a very few, this is a very slim minority now, few select people continuing to beg that he plays in every game? He is not good enough. He is useless. He is Francis Jeffers levels. Jeffers probably scored more goals than him. For God's sake. You know, the problem with some Arsenal fans is that they live in their own magical, wonderful fairy world where it's a land of rainbows and unicorns, and Eddie Nketiah is a true holy trinity, and Kai Havertz we'll get to him, is a world-class midfielder. Some Arsenal fans cannot take the heat when any player is in the squad is heavily criticised. Unless, of course, your name is Kieran Tierney or Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. In that case, you can get criticised. Bit strange that. Or Florian Balogun, another striker who scored 20-plus goals last season and we got rid of because he wanted to have Nketiah play. Yes, he missed 2 penalties. Okay, what about last season when he scored 20-odd goals? He can do that. Anyway, a lot of Arsenal fans, they tend to they don't have thick skin, especially when it comes to criticising players. When rival fans or even fellow Arsenal fans criticise people like Nketiah or Odegaard or Odegaard. Look, he didn't have his best game. I'm talking about players. Nketiah, Cedric, El Neni, Jorginho, all of these people who have every right to be criticised, okay? Especially Jorginho after giving the ball away. They tend to, like I saw when Arsenal drew 1-1 against Nuremberg. Yes, it was a friendly, I get that. But there was an Instagram post, a picture of Cedric's face with the caption, "Get ready to learn Arabic, buddy." And literally every comment, this wasn't me, by the way, every comment was people going, he was the only person that showed passion. He came on and he impressed. He put his all in the team. What is the obsession with positive Arsenal fans and rubbish players? They try so hard to believe that every single one of our players is good. No. And Nketiah is on that list. Yes, well done for getting that last-minute winner against Man United last season. One of the most iconic moments in GoonerGathering history. But that was it. Any other chance you have, missed it. You skive it over the bar. Yes, he has scored some goals, Nottingham Forest against Fulham. But when you get him to play more often than not against the big boys, against Tottenham, against Man City, he's gone. Right? He's not good enough. Anyway, I'll move on from that. And I think I'm going to bring this fella into question. Let's talk about Kai Havertz, shall we? Let's talk about Kai Havertz. Okay, now the substitutions at half-time. I understood why Jorginho came on because Declan Rice was hobbling off. He was picking up a knock. Okay, I get that. Yes, Jorginho cost us the game big time with the 2-2 equaliser, right? But I understood why he came on because of Declan Rice. I don't understand why Fabio Vieira had to come off. Yes, he was average, but Havertz, any player could be better, apart from a couple of Chelsea players, or Sheffield United in this case. But I could have, right. Today, class, we're going to be learning about why Kai Havertz will be a massive waste of money, right? let me move the board a little closer so you can see, right? Okay. So I can create a little list of players that were cheaper than Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz costed 60. Right. Havertz was 65 million Great British pounds. I don't know if you can see that. Okay? Here are some other players, right? Let's start with the obvious. Maddison, 30 to 40 million pounds. James Ward-Prowse, 30 million pounds. Bissouma, who signed, yes, he signed last season, but I'm still including him. Bissouma, what was it? 20 to 30 million pounds? Bargain. Mohamed Kudus, linked with us this summer. 40 million Great British pounds. Sandro Tonali for Newcastle, phenomenal midfielder, has done very well for the Magpies. Was it around the region of 30 million? Around that? It was certainly cheaper than Havertz. Don't quote me on this exact price, but it was certainly cheaper than Havertz. What else? McAllister, 30 to 35 million. The bargain of the window. Yes, he got a red card, but overall, he's done okay for Liverpool. The Hungarian bloke, I'm not going to try and spell or pronounce his name. I'm just going to say it. 60 million. Roughly around the same price as Kai Havertz. He's done much better. And you know what? Douglas Luiz, linked with us last season. Again, I don't know how much he costed for Villa or how much he would have costed if he wanted to sign for us last season, but he'd be better than Kai Havertz. Yeah. It's all over the place. I don't want people from my work seeing some weird football stats on the board. So some people are saying, oh, bet you wish you didn't get rid of Granit Xhaka then. Bet you didn't wish that. Xhaka wasn't getting rid of Xhaka. That's not the problem. The problem is we bought a much worse player. Here's what I would have done. Okay, maybe we might not have had funds to get a player. Okay. Maybe we shouldn't have sent players like Lokonga and Tavares on loan. Let's say we sold. Okay. How much was Holding? Was it 5 million? So let's say we sell Holding for 5 million. Tavares was going to cost about 10 million to Nottingham Forest. Tavares, 10 million. Lokonga. Let's put a random price on there. I don't know. He's probably worth 3.5 million at most, right? Cedric. He would go for 5 million as a stretch. Let's say we get him for 4 million. Okay? Who else am I thinking of, right? So these players, for example, okay? You add that up, 5, 15, 18, 5, 15, 18.5, 22.5 million pounds. Now, the funds that we have, you add that up, and surely we'd be able to get a player like Kudus or like Ward-Prowse. Because he didn't sign for West Ham until a few days before deadline day. We could have had the time. I don't know, right? We also needed a backup for Saka. I wanted Moussa Diaby. He's banging the goals in for Villa. Anyway, that's enough of me playing with the whiteboard, right? You saw what I was trying to. If you want a close up, right? Here you go. I might auction this. There you go. All a list of some players better than Kai Havertz. And here's me doing. Hang on, it's upside down. Here's me doing some quick maths. There you go. I just wanted to use the board, to be honest. So I see that a lot of Arsenal fans, right, and I'm going to talk about Kai Havertz again. Now, I'm wrong for criticising Kai Havertz. Oh, I'm wrong, apparently, because if I go on Twitter, I'll see a lot of Arsenal fans with pictures of footballers as their profile. They'll get their spreadsheets out, their calculators out, and tweet all these spreadsheets and graphs and pie charts about how much field tilt that Kai Havertz has had, how much flick-ons and layoffs he's got, which makes him look like prime Andrea Pirlo. I just have to see it with my own eyes. He is useless. And seeing as if Arsenal fans like all these stats, try this one for size. 007 for Kai Havertz. No goals, no assists, 7 games. That's all that matters. That's a stat that matters. Look at that. Useless. You want another stat? Since seeing as some fans care about XG so much, expected goals, all right, have a look at this. Since you care about XG so much, Arsenal's open play expected goals this season is ranked the 12th best in the Premier League. You know which team's below us? Luton. How all these XG merchants need to figure that out. Luton Town, in terms of your magical XG, are below us. Just one space below us. And now, we might not have Rice. If worst case scenario happens, we might not have Rice, Martinelli, Trossard, or Saka for the Man City game. And when we got the news that Rodri got sent off on Saturday and that he would miss the Arsenal game, you had all of these Arsenal fans, people are walking past. You had all of these Arsenal fans on Twitter having all these happy accidents in their trousers. Oh, Rodri's not there. He's not going to be here for the Arsenal game. Yippee! 2 things. 1, why are you relieved that one of City's most prolific players is not going to be there? I thought we were going to go toe-to-toe with City. I thought we weren't going to be afraid of them. I thought we closed the gap. Oh, we're not afraid of Man City. We beat them in the Community Shield. So why are you relieved and joyful that Rodri's not going to be there? I thought we wouldn't be afraid of him. Toe-to-toe and all that. And 2, be careful what you wish for. Man City might not have Rodri or De Bruyne. We don't have Rice, Timber, Partey, Trossard, Martinelli or Saka. And that's worst case scenario, I get that. But this is a case of be careful what you wish for. And I still can't bear the fact we got outplayed and outperformed in our own backyard by Tottenham. And I know some fans will focus it on the referee for not giving Romero a red card. He should have been sent off. I get that. But he was still on the pitch. Deal with it. Immediately after Saka scored a penalty, Jorginho, I look like an idiot now because I kept saying he offers us calmness and reassurance in midfield. He goes and gives the ball away. Utterly useless, to quote my little screenshot there. I don't know. I'm rambling on 24 minutes. But no, I think a lot of Arsenal fans need to remove their heads from out of the sand. A lot of this result wasn't down to the ref. It was down to players like Jorginho for giving the ball away, Havertz for once again being a ghost in midfield, Nketiah for not providing any attacking threat, And that's not an agenda. That's a fact. Look at the stats I showed you. And it's down to Arteta for the ridiculous substitutions. Nketiah offered nothing. He takes Jesus off. He offers more creativity. Yes, I know. He missed that sitter. I get it. Nketiah should have been taken off. We would have had more quality in the team. Bringing Smith Rowe on so late. That 2-2 result is down to Arteta. And if he continues to overthink like this, he might cost us in important games. Important Champions League games. Important games where the title could be decided. And if that's the case, I might go back to the PoshBertie of 2021, where I wanted a new manager. So let that be a warning. Anyway, I'm going to end the video now. I got some frustrations out. It was a bit of a mess, but I enjoyed it anyway. Thank you very much.